Hello and welcome, everyone. It's my favorite time of year. You know it, you love it. This is a star to steer her by.
Ding, ding.
And it's my favorite time of year because it is fanfic week. We've done this a bunch of times. We announced who our fanfic people were going to be a couple months ago. We've been writing fanfics ever since. Some of us have written them today. So after all these fanfics, you know that this is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
This is Jake.
And this is Chris.
And these are our Discovery fanfics.
Ooh, Discovery.
Maybe we can discover if any of these characters have any character.
That was the intimidating factor for this batch, because it's like, okay, I did a lot of reading Memory Alpha and finding nothing. Like, wow, no one else, even on Memory Beta, filled any of this in for me? Fuck you guys.
Memory Beta
See,
cuck.
but the good thing about that, to me at least, is that just gives us so much more room to do whatever we fucking want.
And I sure did.
I didn't do... The only research I did for mine was to look up how to spell certain words. Everything else was out of the ass.
I did look up to see if they ever established Jet's wife's name.
I did the same.
They did not, but they did give us species.
Oh, I know.
What was the species?
Soyusian.
Which,
How the fuck do you know these things?
Memory Alpha.
Because she looked it up for her story,
No.
I bet.
Her Memory Alpha has nothing to do with Memory Alpha. She pulls this shit out of her fucking... Like, is your brain a TARDIS? Is it bigger on the inside? Like, where do you put all this shit?
Up my butt.
Someday, we're gonna... like, a long time from now, because we're all gonna live to be 110 or something...
Ugh.
Oh,
They're
no,
gonna open you up and find out that you have 8 times more brain wrinkles than any
Just
other human
full of
on
hamsters.
the planet. I can't, like, literally. Kitty Cat, you're sitting on... Yeah, you looked right at me. You know who I'm talking to. You're sitting on a piece of my fan fiction. It's not a very good
But
piece.
you're supposed to go first.
Caitlin wants to go first, but the white cat's sitting right on her notebook.
That's okay. It's like a
Oh,
paragraph.
buddy.
I remember how... Oh, yeah, could you cover it better? That's
Oh,
good.
look at how cute he's being.
He's going to attack
He was
you.
just licking my fingers. I've never got
You
kitty
taste
kisses.
delicious.
Yes.
Caitlin, remind us who your characters were.
I believe it was Saru and Linus.
Yeah, okay. Alien
Classic.
Week.
Alien Week. So this isn't as much a fanfic as it is a series of vignettes. Really, really badly written vignettes.
I look forward to it.
Is there a title for this collection?
Fuck Linus. Like, I don't know.
Considering this
Oh,
is you,
wow.
I wonder what version of the verb it is.
Well, no, not that.
Him and Saru ain't getting freaky?
I thought about it, but no.
All right.
Him and Giorgio are getting freaky.
That's true, but that's canon.
I also thought about that. And actually, before I, gave up... So, unlike Ames, who takes months to plot out her shit and writes it, and unlike Chris, who had a surge of fucking, anti-writer's block on Friday, I woke up this morning and still had, a kernel of an idea and nothing else.
Whoa!
So
you wrote it in the car on the way over here.
I mean, I was driving. I mean, imagine.
Thank God for voice to text.
Yeah.
But that's why in the middle of one of the vignettes you just hear, use your blinker,
You
fuckface.
fucking shit. Yeah. It's better than my
Okay,
fanfic.
so fuck
here we go.
Linus.
So fuck Linus. It doesn't really have a title. It's just, but the theme is fuck Linus. I also just realized I can't do a Saru impression at all.
Just do your...
My flocks.
Yeah.
Or your Picard.
Admiral Vance, I know it's highly unusual, but I have... Admiral Vance, I know it's highly unusual, but I have an odd request, said Saru, as he walked beside the Admiral, his impossibly long, slim arms waving hypnotizingly behind his impossibly long, thin body. Vance sighed. Ever since Saru and his crew had arrived in his time, because I couldn't remember what year it was, there had been odd requests.
Yeah.
It's about Lieutenant Linus, said Saru, because I couldn't be bothered to look and see if Linus had a last name. It's about Lieutenant Linus, said Saru, his tone lowering. We simply can't allow him to keep the new comms and transporter badge. All right, I feel better already.
I don't think we adjusted the gain, did we?
Well, but good news. Chris is coming in loud and clear. He's been popping up in all kinds of places he doesn't belong. I'm worried that one day now, he's going to transport himself into the spore drive and we'll never discover the secret of the burn.
Fingers crossed.
A scene. Jet looked at him impassively and said, "If you don't want me to shoot you at an airlock, you'll leave here now and never tell anyone what you saw." Linux. Thanks a lot, Linux. What the fuck, Google? Linus gulped audibly and slammed his hand down on his badge. Nothing happened. He felt panic rising in him and felt his skin changing color to blend with the background. No idea if Linus can do that. I'm very sorry, Commander. It won't happen again. He turned and ran towards the door, slamming into it. Shaking his head, he pressed the panel to open the door and ran out. Jet looked over at where Culber and Stamets still stood, naked except for what appeared to be palm fronds covering their genitals. "Sorry for the interruption, boys," she said, turning back to her canvas, and went back to painting the lovely, idyllic scene.
Wow.
Eden is coming along great. We're almost finished. Next scene. Saru and Tarina sat together in his chambers, both looking more than a little nervous. Tarina, I don't want to rush anything, but I think I'm ready to take our relationship to the next level, said Saru. "I'm not suggesting moving too fast. I just thought maybe some hand stuff."
Oh, this is pawn far enough.
That's all Vulcans do.
There was a deep gasp from across the room, and Tarina and Saru were both horrified to see Linus in the middle of their sitting room. "Captain, I'm surprised you don't know. 85% of Romulan lovemaking is hand stuff, and it's the more serious 85%.
Did you say Romulan?
Yeah, isn't she Romulan?
She's Vulcan.
Fuck! Vulcan lovemaking. She's not Romulan?
They're friends now.
I thought she was Romulan.
I think she's one of the.
She
Vulcans.
looks Romulan.
She doesn't have the V.
She's got...
Not all Romulans have the V.
No, I know, but...
She's got shoulder pads.
Well, that's because their culture has
Fuck!
started to
Well,
squish
whatever.
together.
Regardless,
It's
still
definitely
the hand
true
stuff
of
is all good.
Vulcans.
Yeah.
We're all doing hand stuff.
Oh, yeah.
"Lieutenant," said Saru, feeling his quills readying themselves for launch, "if you don't get out of here right now, you'll drive me to behave in a most undiplomatic manner. Speak of this to no one and get out." "It's only a matter of time before he breaks the Prime Directive or gets himself killed," Saru finished, residual embarrassment flooding his body. Vance stopped walking then, and his eyes seemed to look far away. New scene. Vance was dressed in full drag, a long blonde wig framing his handsome face. He twirled the hem of his dress, spinning prettily in the mirror. Wait till they get a look at Admiral dance at the next drag queen in King Night.
I love it.
These aren't my quarters.
Jesus,
A
fuck.
deep, embarrassed voice coming from behind. Vance turned, and there stood Linus, an impossible blush spreading across his face. "Oh, you look beautiful, Admiral." Vance let out a yelp of embarrassment. "Get out, Linus! And don't tell anybody!" Linus hit the badge in his chest and thankfully disappeared. Hopefully into space, Vance thought, rage building in his chest. Back to the scene with Saru. "Granted, Captain Saru," said Vance. "Get that badge away from Linus before he gets himself killed." That's the end.
Oh, cute.
May I suggest the title, "Do Not Speak of This"?
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
good.
true. "Do Not Speak of This" is good. All right, well, we'll do that. We'll take that. Anyway, this is the 500 words that you get when, like... Because I told you when I had the idea about the hand stuff. That was a month ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I had this great idea, right? That Saru is going to suggest hand stuff, and Tarina is going to be horrified, and Linus is going to be there, you know? And, like, and that was it. Like, there was nothing else.
I have to say that it was short, but it was tight.
It was also better than any of the show's attempts at
Yeah.
making Linus popping into places funny.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had about 3.5 minutes more, I was kind of thinking about having a scene where Giorgio was dominating one of the bridge crew. Probably that cute little boy thing. What's his name? Grant? Was there a
Which
guy?
one?
I don't know. Some cute little boy thing anyway. But I decided against it. And
Bryce or Reese.
Bryce or Reese, yes, one of that. It's that. But anyway, I couldn't remember his name, and I was like, I don't have time. I just don't have time. I give up. I give up goodbye. Plus, I was like, okay, but does Giorgio threaten him? Like, could it have been I know, don't tell anybody? Or would it be Giorgio being like, no, I was going to say you should join us.
Oh,
you know?
gosh.
But I didn't want to give Linus a happy...
Why not both?
I didn't want to give Linus a happy ending of any kind. That's right. So that's my fan fiction.
Yeah, it was funny.
Cute.
All right, Jake, you want to go next or should I?
Up to you. What do you want?
Well, there's 2 teleplays, right?
Yeah,
I'm a
Jake's and mine are
teleplay and
teleplays.
hers is
Why don't we do your teleplay
Okay.
That makes sense.
and then do...
Chris's prose.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you should have all gotten scripts that will have your characters highlighted.
Okay, I haven't even looked to see who I am yet.
You
so.
are... Okay, well, I can tell you.
Okay.
So you, I believe, are Giorgio and I think Orion 2.
Ooh, hot.
I think. But it'll be highlighted, so you won't miss it.
Oh, dear.
Caitlin, I believe you are Burnham and Orion 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
And then there's also some lines that are called Mud Chorus. So
Yes.
you'll be reading those. Chris, you are Mud in all of his forms, including Chorus.
Okay.
I'll be reading Tyler and also the Mud Chorus.
Remind us who your characters were, Jake.
Oh, my characters were Giorgio and Mud.
Yes, okay. That makes sense now. It's all coming together. Like Linus.
So this does require a little bit of a setup. So leave this in, Chris, but this is for everyone to understand. So basically, as you may remember, they had previously announced a Section 31 spin-off series to Discovery with Giorgio leading it and probably Tyler as well. Before they announced that, though, they had also, you may not remember this, but they had announced that there was going to be a Giorgio Mudd sitcom, odd couple type sitcom, which got shelved. But I did manage to get my hands on the unaired pilot script, which is what this is. This shows, it's called Worlds Apart.
It says here it's called The Dinner Party.
Well, that's the title of the episode. The show is called Worlds Apart.
Gotcha.
Star Trek Worlds Apart.
Star Trek Worlds Apart. This is the pilot script, The Dinner Party. The show features Giorgio and Mudd as roommates that are living together in a house on Earth, and they've been forced to do this as a result of a court order to keep each other out of trouble.
Wow.
Hey, let's put these 2 assholes together. They'll keep each other in check.
So
they'll solve crimes for me.
I am gonna. So I also have a little pre-recorded bit here. This is the theme song.
You did the theme? I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
Okay, here we go.
From commanding mighty legions across the cosmic sea to running scams and capers throughout the galaxy. It's hard up there alone, but seeds of friendship can be sown, holding a mirror to the love inside of you. They're worlds apart from the edges of space. They're worlds apart. Now they're sharing a place. An heir to aristocracy meets an heir of mediocrity. Their world, it's their time. Nothing's gonna stop them now.
Wow, harmonized. Beautiful.
You've killed him, actually.
I had to hold it in. I didn't want to interrupt. Oh my god.
We've officially leveled up as a podcast. There is now a song.
I can share that with you if you want to put the audio file in
Oh my
directly.
god,
I
that should be the
probably should.
theme of this week's episode.
Okay, so anyway,
Oh my
so that's
God.
the theme song.
Oh, it's
now,
so
the
good.
other thing to note,
Oh.
I'll say it out loud, but Worlds Apart is filmed in front of a live studio audience. So we are all going to be the studio audience.
Okay.
Okay?
Woo!
And I'll do the stage directions, of course.
Wait, so who are you playing?
I'm playing Tyler, and I think that might be it. Oh, and the Mud Chorus.
And stage direction.
And stage direction.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so scene 1, interior, living room, day. Fade up to reveal the living room of a house shared by roommates Giorgio and Mudd. It is a typical living room with a couch, coffee table, and a few chairs. A large window lets in natural light. The walls are adorned with various pieces of art and photographs. This is your stereotypical 90s family sitcom living room. To the right is a door leading to the kitchen, and to the left is the front door of the house. A staircase in the back leads up to bedrooms. Mud sits on the couch, staring off with one hand in his pants a la Al Bundy. Giorgio enters from the staircase wearing what she would consider modest evening attire. She is clearly a bit frantic. When she reaches the bottom of the stairs, she notices Mud and stops.
Hardcore!
Mud is startled out of his daze and looks up at her. As she speaks, Giorgio moves into the living room with her back to the kitchen.
Shouldn't you be in the kitchen? I thought you were making dinner. Michael will be here any minute.
Relax, Phil. Dinner's almost ready. I have my best man on it.
Your best man? I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but if you call me Phil one more time, I swear I'll... You are to address me as your Imperial Majesty, Mother of the Fatherland, Overlord of Vulcan.
Dominar of Rigel, bad bitch of Beta Z, great bird of the galaxy. Yeah, I remember.
Mud too enters from the kitchen behind Giorgio with a tray containing 2 brightly colored drinks.
Chipper.
Giorgio takes a drink from the tray and sips it, dismissing Mud 2 with a gesture. It takes her a moment to realize that something's not right. Giorgio turns around abruptly and bursts into the kitchen. Cut to kitchen. Your typical 80s sitcom kitchen. 4 other Muds are hard at work doing various tasks preparing dinner. One is chopping vegetables, another tends a soup, while another polishes silverware. The last Mud appears to be supervising the operation. As Giorgio enters, the Muds look up.
Hi, Phil!
Giorgio stands silently, taking it in. She slowly turns back to go into the living room. Back in the living room, Mud 2 is now standing behind Mud, who has taken the other jipper and is sipping it daintily. Giorgio re-enters the living room, looking very confused and stunned, still holding her jipper. She looks at Mud, then at Mud 2, then back to Mud.
Well done, Mud. Now, I want you to keep these coming. I never want this glass to be empty.
Mud 2 nods, then returns to the kitchen, pushing past Giorgio.
Harcourt!
See? Everything's under control. I have everything handled. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy your jipper.
Mud clinks his glass against hers, then downs the rest of his drink in one gulp, letting out an audible ah of satisfaction.
I'm not even going to ask. All I'm going to do is say that if anything goes wrong with tonight's dinner, if you screw this up or embarrass me in any way in front of Michael, I will personally make it my life's work to see that you suffer in ways that you can't begin to imagine. Every one of you!
Like I said, you don't have to worry about a thing. The dinner will be perfect. I selected the menu myself. I even made sure to get the best ingredients. Fresh threat ganglia delivered from Kaminar just this morning.
Threat ganglia?
Of course, fried Kelpian threat ganglia served with a side of roasted fruit vegetables and a nice dry white. I remember how much you said it was your favorite and not easy to come by.
Giorgio is instantly enraged. She approaches Mud with her hands out as if to strangle him.
You absolute imbecile! Michael's best friend is Kelpian. We can't serve threat ganglia. She'll be mortified. You absolute...
But she. Did you say she? You mean Michael's bringing a date?
No, you idiot. Michael is a she. Michael Burnham, my protege, the one I told you about 1,000 times.
Mud starts pacing around nervously.
What did you do?
Oh, it's nothing. No problem at all. It's just, well, the entertainment I booked for tonight.
Entertainment? What entertainment? This is supposed to be a quiet dinner with Michael. We don't need entertainment.
I just wanted to make a good impression, that's all. You know, just a little something to help liven things up. But it's fine. I'll just call and cancel.
You'd bet.
I will.
And keep them out of sight. I don't want Michael to think this is some sort of weird clone orgy.
Technically, they're androids, not clones.
Whatever! Just keep them in there. And if I see so much as a single threat ganglia on my plate tonight, my next meal will be your ganglia, Mud.
She means genitals.
Sound of a car door closing outside. Giorgio rushes to the window and peers through the blind. She turns back to Mud in horror.
She's here!
Giorgio rushes back, pushing her jipper into Mud's hand and ushers him into the kitchen. She turns back, quickly preens herself before turning back to the kitchen. She pokes her head in.
No ganglia!
You got it! Giorgio turns to the living room again before turning back one more time and poking her head into the kitchen.
And no entertainment!
Consider it done! Giorgio takes a deep breath, sits down in a chair, fixes her hair slightly, and waits. After a couple seconds, she gets an idea. She rotates the chair around so that its back faces the door. A moment later, the doorbell rings.
It's open!
The door opens and Michael Burnham enters. The audience cheers. She is dressed in a casual but stylish outfit and carries a bottle of Chateau Picard.
I get it.
She doesn't notice Giorgio at first and looks around the living room.
Philippa?
Using her feet, Giorgio swivels the chair around to face Burnham. She's attempting to maintain a cool, collected demeanor, but her nervousness is palpable. When she makes eye contact with Burnham, she smiles with practiced warmth.
Michael.
Giorgio gets up and embraces Burnham in an awkwardly stiff embrace. Burnham is surprised, but returns the hug.
Welcome to my home, daughter. And what's this?
She takes the bottle of wine from Burnham and examines it.
Ah, some cooking wine. How very thoughtful of you, Michael.
Giorgio sets the wine bottle on the coffee table and goes to close the door behind Burnham.
Being fair, not to interrupt, but they do say never cook with wine you wouldn't drink.
Oh, Ash is right behind me.
Ash?
Just then, Ash Tyler pushes open the door and enters. The audience cheers excessively. Woo!
Arsenio Hall noises.
He's hot.
He is dressed in a leather jacket and jeans, looking very cool and casual, like the Fawns.
You brought a friend?
Yes, Philippa, this is Ash Tyler. Ash, this is my, friend and mentor, Philippa Giorgio.
Sup?
Charmed, I'm sure. Michael has told me absolutely nothing about you.
Sorry. I hope you don't mind he came. It was sort of last minute.
Of course not, dear. The more the merrier. I hope you two are hungry. Harcourt is preparing a delectable meal for us.
Harcourt?
Oh, yes, my roommate. Harcourt Fenton Mudd. You'll absolutely abhor him.
Mudd bursts in from the kitchen carrying a tray of chippers.
Sorry, my ears were burning.
He approaches the group and offers the tray of drinks. Burnham and Tyler each take one while Giorgio glares at Mudd. He sets the tray down on the table and offers his hand to Burnham. She goes to shake it and he grabs it and kisses the back of it.
Ah, you must be Michael. I've heard so much about you. It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. And you are?
Tyler. Ash Tyler.
Ah, yes, the famous Ash Tyler. Philippa has told me...
Absolutely nothing about you.
Of course. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you both. I hope you're ready for a wonderful evening of culinary delights. A veritable menagerie of flavors and textures and...
Giorgio glares at him and cuts him off.
Well, it smells amazing in here.
Here, let me take your coats.
He takes their coats and scurries off into the kitchen. The second the door closes behind him, another Mudd enters wearing completely different outfit, carrying a tray of hors d'oeuvres.
Would anyone care for some stuffed mushrooms?
Mudd rounds the living room, offering the tray to Burnham and Tyler. They seem utterly confused. They each tentatively take one, and Mudd moves on to Giorgio, who glares at him. He circles back into the kitchen.
Did he just change clothes?
Here, let me give you the grand tour.
She gestures for them to follow her, and she leads them up the stairs. Fade to commercial. Next scene. In the living room. The living room has been transformed into a dining room. A large table has been set up in the center, adorned with candles and a fancy tablecloth. The Mudd chorus is bustling around, setting the table and arranging the place settings. Giorgio, Burnham, and Tyler are coming down the stairs. When the Mudd chorus sees them, they all scurry back into the kitchen out of sight. A single Mudd returns. As there's a note, each time we see Mudd in the following scenes, it should be a different Mudd wearing a different outfit. Burnham should be the only one noticing this.
Ah, I was wondering where you three had gone. Dinner will be served momentarily. Please have a seat.
He goes back into the kitchen. As Giorgio, Burnham, and Tyler take their seats, Tyler goes for the head of the table, but Giorgio nudges him out of the way and sits down herself. Burnham and Tyler exchange a glance, then sit down beside each other. Real nice place you got here, Mrs. G.
Thank you, Ash. Please, call me Philippa, or your Imperial Majesty if you prefer.
Right on.
So, Ash, tell me about yourself. What do you do for a living?
Well, I work in security for Section 31. Burnham kicks him under the table. He winces.
Section 31? I've not heard of that.
He's about to explain, but Burnham jumps in.
He means Baskin Robbins. You know, the ice cream place. 31 flavors.
Oh, that's cute.
That's actually
That's very good.
Right. Of course. I should have known. I didn't realize they had a security division.
Yeah, it's a new thing. Protecting the secret recipes and all that.
I see.
You know, there's no actual rum in the rum raisin flavor. It's just a name.
Pity. And how about you, Michael? Are you still with that yachting club?
It's called Starfleet, Philippa. And yes, I'm still serving on Discovery. I'm the first officer now.
Ah, yes, the Discovery. The little mushroom ship, I remember now. And first officer, you say? Is that like the captain's assistant? Oh, I'm teasing, Michael. Don't be so serious. It's just a little well-intentioned bullying. You can tell she was raised by Vulcans. I would have given her a sense of humor.
The three sit in awkward silence for a moment before Mud enters from the kitchen carrying a platter of food. As he sets it on the table, Georgiou sees that it is the fried kelpian threat ganglia served with the roasted root vegetables. She suppresses the urge to murder Mud.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. I hope you don't mind family style.
It looks and smells wonderful. What is it?
For the first course, you'll be having fried
Calamari! Fried calamari!
Yes, on a bed of roasted root vegetables.
He returns to the kitchen as Tyler begins to serve Burnham. After a moment...
You know, I'm just going to see if Harcourt needs any help in the kitchen.
She gets up and goes to the kitchen. Now we're in the kitchen, and Georgiou bursts through the door. The Mud chorus looks up. She grabs the Mud that just brought out the food by the shoulder.
Oh, shoulder. You numbskull! I explicitly told you not to serve threat ganglia. Treat? It spelled treat ganglia, and that's funny. The threat ganglia.
You did?
Another Mud perks up.
Actually, it was me you told. It must have slipped my mind. Fellas, we can't serve the ganglia. Michael's Kelpian.
Georgiou storms across the kitchen to Mud 2, grabs him by the head, and twists it clean off, revealing his robotic innards.
Ow.
The other Muds seemed completely unfazed and continued doing whatever they were doing.
She's not the Kelpian. She doesn't eat. She just doesn't eat Kelpian.
Georgiou holds up the head to the other Muds.
Now, no more mistakes. I'm kind of going a little more Yzma from Emperor's New Groove.
No,
aren't I?
that's
fine.
awesome.
That's
Great.
fine.
Of course, Your Imperial Majesty.
Georgiou rolls her eyes, then opens the kitchen door slightly to peer into the living room. Speaking to the head...
There's something not quite right about this Tyler character. I'm not buying his Baskin Robbins story. There is absolutely rum in rum raisin. See what you can find out about him.
Mud's body gives a salute to where his head used to be, and shuffles off. Georgiou rolls her eyes and tosses the head aside. The audience laughs. Ha! She composes herself and returns to the living room. Back in the living room, Tyler and Burnham have cleaned their plates. Georgiou enters and returns to her seat.
My compliments to the chef. This calamari is amazing.
Word.
Yes, Harcourt really has a head for cooking. We'll have to get you the recipe.
Mud enters from the kitchen, this time carrying a larger tray of food, the main course. He circles the table, placing on each plate a mound of meat, then ladling sauce atop it.
Bon appetit.
Looks phenomenal.
Tight.
Harcourt, won't you join us?
Mud looks at Georgiou for permission. Her eyes say no.
I really must be getting back to the kitchen.
Nonsense. You've been running around all day like a chicken with its head cut off.
If you insist.
He snaps out of his subservient demeanor and returns to his usual self. He plops 2 servings of meat on his own plate and slathers it with sauce. He sits down at the head of the table across from Georgiou and begins to eat with gusto. Tyler and Burnham also begin to eat. Georgiou does not take her eyes off Mud.
This is absolutely delicious. What type of meat is this? It has such a unique flavor.
A rare delicacy from the far reaches of the quadrant. Whole roasted tribble with a maple marmalade glaze.
Tyler is immediately agitated upon hearing the word tribble. He stops eating and stares at his plate, his face going pale. Burnham notices and looks concerned. Did you say tribble?
Yes, very rare, very expensive. I had to pull more than a few strings to get it.
Tyler indiscreetly spits his mouthful of food into his napkin.
Everything okay?
Yeah, no problem. I just,
Tribble not agreeing with you, Ash?
Where's your restroom?
At the top of the stairs on your left.
Please excuse me. He gets up and races up the stairs. Burnham looks bewildered and embarrassed.
I have no idea what's gotten into him. He's never acted like this before.
Before Jojo can respond, the doorbell rings, and everyone looks up.
Were you expecting anyone else?
No, I was not.
Giorgio gets up and goes to the door. She opens it. 3 Orion women enter, dressed in obviously fake Starfleet uniform. The audience goes wild. One carries a boombox.
We're from Starfleet Security. Did someone call for DEFCON levels of fun?
The Orion with the boombox sets it down and turns it on, blasting loud music. The Orions start dancing provocatively, tearing open their uniforms to reveal lingerie beneath. Burnham sits agog while Giorgio shoots daggers at Mudd. Mudd leans back in his chair, a smug look upon his face. From somewhere he's produced another jipper, which he sips. He winks at Giorgio. Fade to commercial. Back from commercial, we're in the kitchen. This is a little later. 3 of the Mudds are now headless.
Yay!
But still going about their business of cleaning up the kitchen and doing dishes. Giorgio stands apprehensively at the doorway, spying the happenings in the living room. One of the Mudds stands nearby.
Well, they've stopped dancing, at least.
I don't know why you asked them to stay for dinner.
Because they weren't supposed to be here in the first place. You bumbling moron! If I sent them away, it would have been even more embarrassing.
She turns to Mudd and twists his head off. The audience laughs. The other Mudds continue to work as if nothing happened.
One of these times I'll find the real one. Now, are there any more surprises in store for me tonight?
None whatsoever, Your Imperial Majesty.
Good. There's definitely something fishy with Tyler. Who doesn't like Tribble? Were you able to dig up anything on him?
Another of the headless Mudds steps up and hands Giorgio a pad of paper.
I like you so much better this way.
She takes the pad and begins reading it. Transition into the living room. The Orions are now seated at the table, awkwardly poking their food. Tyler has returned, looking ghostly white, staring at the partially eaten Tribble on his plate. Burnham sits awkwardly in between Tyler and the Orions, trying to make small talk.
That was a really impressive dance routine.
Thanks.
So, you work for Starfleet Security?
Yeah, something like that.
I work in security, too. For Baskin Robbins.
Right. We really should be getting back to base.
Giorgio enters from the kitchen, followed by Mudd.
Nonsense, ladies! You can't leave now. The evening is just getting started. I'm just so glad you could join us. I was so worried you hadn't gotten the invitation.
How do you all know each other?
We're all in jazzercise class together. For fitness.
Right.
I work out, too. Martial arts. Ugh. Mokbara. It's like Klingon kickboxing. Orion 1 rolls her eyes as Tyler demonstrates what he thinks is a totally badass martial arts move.
We're still getting paid, right?
Aren't you delightful, eh? Aren't they delightful?
Mokbara is a pretty uncommon discipline. I've studied it myself, as a matter of fact.
I'm a 2nd degree black belt.
Ah, well, I'm merely a white belt. You fought the Klingons in the war, didn't you? Is that where you picked it up?
Yeah, something like that.
I heard you were taken prisoner by those barbarians. I'm surprised you didn't care for the Tribble. You must be used to eating all kinds of strange.
I guess I just filled up on calamari.
I don't think we should talk about the war.
Perhaps you'd prefer some gach.
Philippa!
What? It's a traditional Klingon dish. Very healthy.
Orion 2 stands up and gestures for the others. Giorgio holds up her hand.
Sit down!
They obediently sit back down. The audience chuckles.
Tell me, Ash Tyler, what was it like being a prisoner of the Klingons?
Giorgio begins blinking rapidly at Tyler in a pattern. Tyler begins twitching slightly.
Philippa, stop it!
It couldn't have been all that bad. I hear Klingon women are insatiable.
The entire table is intimidated by Giorgio's sudden change in demeanor. Tyler snaps. Tyler lunges across the table at Giorgio. The audience hollers, "Woo!" Giorgio is able to easily dodge the attack. Burnham leaps up from the table in utter shock and confusion. The Orions also jump up, screaming. Giorgio and Tyler square up, circling each other, adopting martial arts poses.
What's gonna... Oh, Jesus fucking goddamn you, you son of a bitch! You son of a fucking bitch, Jake! God damn it!
Say the line.
Yes.
Inside joke again, I take it.
Of course it is. That's the only reason Jake wrote this. What's gonna happen, Tyler? What are you gonna do? Use some of that mokbara you've been doing?
Patah! You're a white belt going against a black belt in Mokbara. You'll get annihilated.
Did I say white belt? I meant black belt, 5th degree.
Ooh.
Giorgio gives Tyler the come here gesture like Morpheus from The Matrix. Tyler obliges and the two begin an elaborate martial arts fight, knocking over chairs and smashing furniture. Burnham attempts to intervene.
Stop it, both of you, please!
Cut off from the front door by the fight, the Orions flee into the kitchen. Seconds later, they burst back into the living room, screaming even louder. They are followed into the living room by 5 headless muds, who also began running around the living room, smashing into furniture and generally contributing to the chaos. The audience goes wild. Mud remains seated, sipping his jipper, taking in the excitement. Cut to commercial. Final scene. In the living room later. The living room is a complete disaster. Furniture is overturned, broken dishes and food are strewn everywhere. The destroyed bodies of headless muds litter the area. The table has been broken in two and pushed aside, and the couch has been returned. Mud and Giorgio are sitting on opposite sides of the couch holding jippers. Everyone else is left. There is silence for several seconds.
All in all, I'd say that went pretty well.
She looks at him, incredulous.
Well, at least we survived our first dinner party, right?
She looks around the room at the wreckage.
Well, most of you didn't.
Always room for improvement. I hope Michael isn't too upset.
Please. If anything, I did her a favor tonight. She can do way better than some ice cream shop security guard.
I do kind of feel bad about traumatizing the Orions.
Oh, I paid them handsomely for their trouble. Plus, I signed up for some jazzercise lessons with them.
Wait, they actually teach jazzercise?
It's a private lesson.
Ooh. Ah, of course. Well then, here's to a successful evening.
He holds up his glass, Giorgio holds up hers. Freeze frame. End.
Wow.
How did they not pick up this show?
I know, right?
I was just gonna say, better than fucking Section 31, the movie. Or whatever.
You haven't seen it yet.
I know, but I still
better.
But I still know, you know?
I will say, I appreciate you didn't do the hacky thing that I thought you were going to do, which was turn it into a steamed hams routine.
Oh, no.
Oh, that would have been fun, though.
Once she rejected the food, I was like, is this going to be steamed hams?
I would have loved it.
No.
I mean, it would have been funny, but this was better.
This
the
was a
increasingly
serious...
headless muds were...
Yeah, that's good.
I'm also glad that you finally, that you made Giorgio be like, I'm gonna get the real one at some point, because I was kind of waiting for a, how did you know it wasn't me? I was hoping it was you. You know? So I got the moment that I was kind of hoping for. Nice. Thank you. That was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was delightful. Mine isn't funny.
Whoa, I thought you'd definitely go funny.
So I had Mud and Jet, and mine is called Here's Mud in Your Eye.
Good title.
Thank you. Jay, came the familiar whisper of Candle. Jay, look! Don't call me Jay, Candle, Cadet Reno grumbled, refusing to open her eyes. Come on, you let Defura call you Jay. And she's the only one that gets to. She reluctantly lifted her head and finally looked over at her fellow cadet. What is it? Look what I snagged. He made a show of looking around the shuttle, even though they were in the absolute back and it would be plainly obvious if anyone was paying them any attention. As it was, everyone save the pilots were either asleep or trying to, as Jet had been moments before. Satisfied, he reached into a small pocket on his tricorder bag and pulled out a small, elaborately carved something. Are you... She started to snap, but his eyes went wide and she stopped herself. Through clenched teeth, she continued. Are you kidding, Candle? You stole an artifact? Come on, I bet it's worth something to a collector.
What is it, the cadet's name?
Candle, K-A-N-D-E-L.
Oh, okay. I thought she was talking to a literal candle.
Ah, no. Come on, I bet it's worth something to a collector. We're explorers, not grave robbers. I'm a treasure hunter. When the treasure comes from a grave, it's grave robbing. Tell that to the British Museum. He sighed. Man, Jay, I swear to God. Jet. Man, Jet. I thought you'd get it. You seem so much less uptight than these other Starfleet hardasses. I know this wasn't your first job. Look, all right, I'm mostly here because I like being up to my shoulders in wires and warp coils, and this is the best place to get to play with the newest stuff. And I've worked in some gray areas, but it doesn't mean I'm okay with stealing from the dead. So what, you gonna tell teacher? I'm gonna do my best to convince you to come clean. I'm sure you can sweet-talk them into thinking it was an innocent mistake somehow. And if I don't? Ever heard of Soyuzin nerve stimulation? No? Well, despite the name, it's not actually very pleasant, and Defura is very, very good at it. Or so she tells me. Her dad was a cop back on their homeworld, and they don't have the same kind of feelings about the rights of criminals as the Federation. She leaned in a bit closer to him. She could now see he was trying to grow a mustache again, and it was not going well. So if you don't come clean, I let her introduce you to it, and then I tell teacher. Right. Well, he had grown even paler than he naturally was, which was somewhat surprising. He stuffed the trinket into its pocket. As soon as we land, I'll come clean. And I'll be right there with you to make sure. At some point, Jet managed to finally doze off. When the shaking and sparking sounds woke her, it was her instinct to shout, Candle, damn it! Probably because his conversation was half playing in her mind as she dozed. I didn't do anything, he snapped back. As she came to, she realized the safety harnesses had come online and an alert klaxon was going off. Whose bright idea was it to make these tense situations worse with a screaming alarm? They were bad enough on starships, but in the confines of a shuttle it was almost unbearable. It was bedlam from their little group. The other cadets were demanding to know what was going on, even as the pilots shouted about bracing and failing systems. Jet pulled a small screwdriver from a pocket she'd sewn into her sleeve and jammed it into the little port on top of the harness buckle, and it popped open. And then she made her way to the front of the shuttle. So, we seem to have a problem? Cadet, get back in your seat, the co-pilot shouted. I'm an engineer and a damn good one. Let me help. Cadet! Look, if you want to reprimand me, we need to live to get back to Starbase 12, and I might be able to improve our chances. Something yanked us out of warp. At least one EPS conduit is overloaded, and we have no control over our flight path. Is everything else working? So far. Okay, so someone looking to grab ships and crews alive. Not a tractor beam, though. So they've somehow taken over our controls. That's beyond any one small-time pirate. Maybe even beyond the Orions. Best bet might be a factory reset. You insane? Look, at its base, the computer has its operating system, which will include all the necessary software to run this thing. We'll leave some data, logs, maybe have to resync some clocks later, but it's worth not getting caught by whoever this is. She tapped the co-pilot's shoulder. So move. Core axis is in front of your seat. Sir? The co-pilot was looking over at his counterpart. Hell with it, let her try. Great, but stay close. I'm going to need you to hand me some things. 10 minutes later, the shuttle was dark and unsettlingly quiet. Inertia and the gravity well of the planet below was all that was keeping them moving. From under the co-pilot's panel, Jet could hear one of the cadets trying to stave off hyperventilation while someone else was sobbing quietly. When we get back, I'm writing a sternly worded letter about making this process less difficult, she said to no one in particular, but loud enough that hopefully everyone did. It had to distract folks from the quiet. A couple of button presses, maybe just a proper switch, something behind a little flip-top thing, real old school. One last connection made, and suddenly there was the whir of the air pumps and heating units coming online. The cabin was suddenly full of light again, and the usual pinging of the various scanners and systems kicked in. Jet let out a sigh that hopefully no one heard, and then emerged from below the console, trying to look cocky as she pulled a pack of gum from within her jacket and stuck a piece in her mouth. Okay, well, now we can figure out if that EPS conduit broke anything I need to fix while you two get us home. She started heading back to her seat, nodding and smiling at the other cadets who were tossing praise her way that she felt was maybe a little out of proportion. She dropped back into her chair and leaned her head back, eager to return to her nap. How sure were you that that little maneuver would work? Candle asked quietly. 85%? She shrugged. Maybe 90. Oof, good numbers, but hardly within engineering tolerances. Better than whatever was going to happen otherwise. Okay, everyone, bad news, shouted the pilot. That EPS conduit is costing us antimatter containment. We have to drop our warp core before it blows, and that means landing. There was another small outburst over this. Jet sighed and offered her pack of gum to Candle. Well, at least we're going down on our own terms, he suggested, taking a stick. The landing went smoothly enough as they managed to get far away enough from the dumped core to be well outside its shockwave before it went. They came in low and landed a kilometer or so outside the only sign of advanced tech on the planet. On the one hand, landing near what was almost certainly the people who had tried to kidnap them was a bit mad. On the other, someone was there, better than landing in a jungle on a planet they knew nothing about and couldn't look up in the now-wiped databanks. Oh, a bit of reconnaissance could be in order, Candle had suggested. Who knows if it's a facility without too many people? We can pilfer something and be on our way. I hope so, the pilot said. We can't activate a distress beacon. Not only would it give us away to them, but it would lure another ship into their trap. All right, Candle, Reno, you're with me. Wait, what? Your idea, may as well see it through. And I'll need an engineer. The rest of you stay here, get camp set up. If we're not back in 2 hours, assume we're not coming back and do whatever you think is best. Come on, Candle, Reno said, slapping his back. You can put this on your good behavior list when you're telling about you-know-what. You're enjoying this? A little. The compound was surprising, to say the least. What they found was a crumbling wall surrounding a building that had maybe been impressive once, but now seemed to be as much rust as it was metal. There was no sign of any guards or ground-level personnel scanners. We're still going cautious, the pilot said. Phaser's on stun unless I say otherwise. Should one of us hang back, just in case? Candle suggested. So they can't report back, get help. The pilot shot Candle a look and then started forward. Reno immediately followed, and Candle took off after them after a moment with a little huff. Son, why did you join up? The pilot asked. I come from a long line of Starfleet personnel and didn't want to get disowned. My grandfather refuses to shut up about serving on the NX-01. He always conveniently leaves out how it was after Archer left command, though. Great. The pilot made a noise suggesting Candle was a type he'd seen before and more than he'd have liked. I've got some fantastic desk jobs I can recommend you for if we get out of this. Much obliged. You ain't said much, Reno. You only talk when you want to be a wise ass. Or when I'm right about something. Fair enough.
Nice, that's very Jet.
They got to the wall without incident and crossed through one of its many gaps just as safely. Candle did another scan and shook his head. The grounds outside really do seem to be completely devoid of anything functional. No life signs, energy signatures. There's definitely something interesting inside. One life sign, maybe? Maybe, the pilot said. There's some kind of interference, but it's a bit middling. It feels almost accidental. Maybe we're about to find some lone Romulan who doesn't know the war is over, Reno said. I remember reading about stuff like that happening in old Earth wars. Being the first humans to meet a Romulan would be quite the tale to tell, Candle said with a little smirk. We're nowhere near any front of the war, Reno said. I don't know who they are, but they're probably not a Romulan. I wish it was more obvious when you were being sarcastic. You have to listen harder. The trio made their way to the building. The large door wasn't locked, but whatever mechanism was supposed to open it wasn't working, so they all three of them had to put their shoulders to it and shove. The noise it made would definitely alert whoever was inside that there was going to be company soon, assuming the other noises were not pointing to the door being load-bearing. Still, no one came rushing. The pilot lowered his phaser, but didn't holster it or switch it off. Still, Reno could see his posture become a little less tense. He glanced at Candle, who glanced down at his tricorder. The cadet said nothing, but pointed down a hallway. The pilot nodded and headed that way, the trainees close behind. They soon found themselves in a large room that was somewhat better kept than everything else they'd seen at that point. It was some kind of combined lab control center thing, one line walled with panels not too different from the kind you might see on a starship. But there were also innumerable tables laden with various bits of machinery and mysterious lumps under cloth. But there was no sign of anyone. "Ah, to hell with it," the pilot grumbled. "I'm Commander Veth of Starfleet. My ship has suffered damage and we're here to seek assistance you may be willing to provide." Silence. "Look around," Reno, see if you can figure out what any of those panels do. Presumably one of them is connected to that thing that took us down earlier. Candle, we'll check the table, see if we can figure out what's going on here. Phaser still in hand, Reno made her way to the opposite side of the room, keeping an ear cocked to hear Veth and Candle wandering around, saying nothing. As she approached the panel, she was struck by a series of white strips dotted along its otherwise metallic surface. That isn't... But she got closer and saw. Huh. Masking tape. The strips were masking tape, scattered by various buttons and other consoles. They all had writing from a marker on them, all in Federation standard. Some seemed certain, like the one labeled power on-off. A few had question marks, like the one that said beam distance. Whoever works here isn't the original owner, she called out. Instead of the response she was expecting, she heard a startled shout. She spun around, readying her phaser, but she found that the noise had come from a man on a table. He'd apparently been hiding under a cloth since Candle was standing over him with the sheet in his hand. The cadet looked almost as surprised as the man he was looking at. While Veth stood his ground, his phaser somewhat raised, but not directly pointed at anyone. "Well, hello," the mystery man said. He had a mop of wavy silver hair and a ridiculous mustache. "Always a pleasure to meet the Federation's fine Starfleet officers." "Then why were you hiding?" Veth demanded. "Well, anyone can say they're Starfleet," the mystery man said, slowly pushing himself into a sitting position. "In fact, I've fallen afoul of people who've claimed to be your fellows-in-arms only to prove to be, well, not." "And you are?" "Harry Mudd," the man responded, with a little bow and a flourish of his hand, suggesting that the name should perhaps have meant something. "And tell me, Mr. Mudd, did you mean to drag us down here?" No, actually." He hopped to his feet. "Actually, I really am quite grateful you are who you say you are. Perhaps you can help me. You see, I'm a bit of a treasure hunter, you see, and I found this place. And it has, well, some absolute wonders. Wonders that have interested quite a few people. But, well, I thought I was activating a subspace beacon one day and instead switched on that blasted butterfly net. None of my buyers can get close without the damned beam flying their ship into a cliff." "That's a weird defensive measure," Candle said. "Well, it looks like there might have been a landing pad there once, so its original purpose was probably benign. And there's another projector of some kind rotting up there. It was maybe supposed to be another hand, or slow them down, or something. Anyway, no one can get here until I figure out how to turn the foolish thing off." "How did you survive, anyway?" "Killed our ship for a minute, so this gizmo didn't have anything to hold on to," Jet called from the panel, which she had turned back to shortly after realizing Mudd was no immediate threat. "We'd have been on our way, too, but this thing broke our anti-matter containment field." "Well, I'm happy to help you fix your ship. As like as not, you'd be pulled down again once you try to take off. I've not tried to leave myself, or fear that might happen to me." "So you want us to help you break things just enough?" "I mean, I'd prefer something non-destructive, but at this point I'll take what I can get." "All right." Jet craned her neck until something audibly popped. "I'll see what I can figure out." "So what is all this?" Candle asked. "I haven't the first idea," Mudd replied. "Well, I have the first idea. It's all very advanced, beyond anything I've ever seen." He made his way to another cloth-covered table and beckoned Candle and Veth over. He curled the ends of his mustache before waving his hands over the cloth like a deeply hacky magician. "Automation has come a very long way. I've seen some quite convincing robots in my journeys, but this..." He pulled the sheet back with a flutter, revealing what appeared to be at first blush to be a corpse. It was oddly pale and humanoid, with bizarre segmented eyes and long ears ending in forked points. It was seemingly nude, but there was nothing. Just more of the pale skin. Nothing that seemed to be otherwise anatomical in any capacity. "It's an automaton of some sort," he smirked. "One of them was still active when I first got here, though on its last legs, and I spent a good day thinking they were a living creature. Their memory was fragmented, but I was able to gather they'd been keeping watch here for at least 2 centuries, as Earth reckons them. They showed me as much of the workings they could muster, helped me get some things going. Poor things, well, something, gave out before we were done, though, hence my current predicament." "Was this them?" Veth asked. "No. Well, no and yes." Mudd gestured to the other tables. "My fallen friend had quite a few compatriots who had gone ahead of them into the great hard drive in the sky. I've been taking what I think might be working parts from all of them and putting them together into this new fellow here, hoping to have myself a new assistant, and proof of the worth of the components here to my prospective buyer." "Amazing," Candle said, studying his tricorder. "I think... Sorry, could you take this?" He was shoving his tricorder towards Veth, who was too confused to be annoyed and just took it. Candle then reached forward, pressed a seemingly random point on the automaton's head, and a panel popped open. "What are you doing?" Mudd demanded. "I think you've almost got this, Harry, but..." He knelt down and pointed. If I'm reading this right, this one bit is just in the wrong way. You've got the polarities misaligned. We get this swapped out, and there's no reason it shouldn't work. You're joking. Mud snatched a tricorder from Veth and looked it over, and the commander now managed to look both confused and annoyed. Look at that. I really do need to get myself one of these. How much, Commander? Starfleet property isn't for sale. I should have expected that. He handed the tricorder back and knelt down next to Candle to peer into the machine's skull. He whispered, "We should talk later." "I'd be very interested to," Candle replied just as quietly. "Well," Mud said louder, springing to his feet, "let's begin surgery and see if young Mr. Candle is correct." "I didn't know you had it in you, Candle," Reno said to him shortly thereafter, looking down at his tricorder. They were leaning together on an empty table as Mud ran around gathering tools and other equipment, while Veth stood in a corner talking to the camp on his communicator. Anyone can look at a readout. Sure, but it wouldn't mean a damn thing to them. You actually know a thing or two about robots. That's also in the family. My mother worked on the first-generation dots. I always preferred robotics to anything else. I had much more interest in doing that than joining Starfleet. You could do both. Peh! Starfleet is too timid to do proper research. They want basic machines, not proper androids. They're as afraid of artificial intelligence as they are genetic manipulation. No one wants to be put out of a job. Good androids can supplement us, not replace us. It takes an organic brain to be illogical and mad enough to explore, create, make civilization worth living in. Yeah, that's how it always starts. I wouldn't expect an engineer to be a Luddite. I'm not, but overly thoughtful computers are as much responsible for the near end of the human race as Khan. Please, records from that time are spotty. We can't be sure. Sure. Mud there seems to have some passion. Yeah, mostly for selling. I just think his getting that thing as close to working as he did was luck. Seems like you could make something proper of yourself. You're more Starfleet than I realized. He stood up. Not all of us want to be proper, Jet. Some of us want fun and comfort in the finer things. But fun is hard to come by in the Federation. Everyone just pretending so hard to be pleasant to each other all the time. He wandered away back towards the table with the unconscious machine alien. We almost ready, Mud? If you can lend me a hand. Gladly. And call me Harry, all my friends do. Well, thank you. And call me Candle, because I hate my first name. They were hunched over the machine for a while. From what Reno could overhear, the concept was simple enough, but the connections fairly delicate, especially since a few had basically been forced into place by Mud. So getting them out without doing any damage was intricate work. After a while, she made her way back to the panels and continued scanning them, hopeful that learning the guts would help her figure out what did what. And that's that! She heard Mud exclaim, though she didn't turn around. She was pretty sure she had the power grid all figured out, but wanted to be sure. I know you? Came an unfamiliar voice, which made Reno turn. The automaton was sitting up. There was something truly alive about the way it moved, she had to admit. Whoever the creator had been, it was years ahead of what even the most advanced stuff she'd seen. Harcourt. Harcourt? Mud? Yes, it's me. Is there still a bit of Evish in there? Yes, Evish, and Envar, and Eov, and so many others, and my mission. Your mission? Mud's face lit up. Does that mean you remember what everything here does? Of course. My masters built us all to help them in their task of conquering this miserable galaxy. With a horrible noise, the android leapt up, shoving its table back and knocking over Candle. Its long fingers were around Mud's throat in an instant, lifting him off the ground. The man's face was soon going pink. Veth took a shot with his phaser, but it seemed to get absorbed into the machine's skin. Its head snapped around and beams shot from its odd eyes at the commander. But either luck or a faulty connection, the old machine made the blast go wide, causing chunks of masonry and metal to slam into the pilot's back, knocking him down. Damn it, Reno grumbled, running over to Candle and switching her phaser up to its highest setting. She grabbed him by the collar and dragged him behind a toppled table. You okay? A bit stunned, but great, stay still. She got up on one knee, braced, and fired a long beam directly into the android's back. Like Veth's beam, it just seemed to be absorbed into its skin. She dropped down quickly before it could look around and shoot at her. She glanced around the side of her cover to see if the thing could spin its head entirely around, so it was scanning the room even as Mud started to turn purple in its unmoving arms. Okay, so phasers are useless. She looked at the gun. At least based on traditional use. We'd never managed to outrun an overload. No, I guess not. You're not that Starfleet, are you? What? No, noble sacrifices are when you're out of ideas. I've got one. He grabbed the tricorder in its bag and jumped over a table. Before Jet could react, the android was swinging its head around to face him. Its aiming unit had to be faulty, as Candle did some swerving, but still probably should have been hit by a beam. He was still gripping his tricorder, doing something with it, and then suddenly he tossed it aside. In his hands was the little elaborate thing he'd pinched from their training mission. "So you have energy fields, my large friend. How about physical attacks?" The noise the android made as the small whatever it was jammed into one of its eyes was awful. If she didn't know any better, she'd have been sure a living thing had just had something jammed into its eye. Maybe its design was a bit too advanced for its own good. It finally dropped Mud, but the way he crumpled to the ground was a bad sign. Jet got to her feet, ready to go check on the fallen man, when a horrible whine split the air. The android was holding its head, shaking it back and forth, and its skin was beginning to burn an unpleasant orange color. Veth was back on his feet by that point, and he shouted for them both to run as he headed for the exit. Reno was soon jumping over the table and making her way for the door, snagging Candle's shoulder as she did. For a moment they ran until a sputtering, choking noise reached them. "Harry!" Candle shouted, turning. "Candle, no!" The noise from the android grew worse. She could see Mud struggling to lift an arm. She spat a curse and started after Candle, but a sudden beam shot out from the android's remaining good eye, tearing its lid and part of its forehead away, and bringing down a pile of rubble between Reno and her fellow cadet. "Candle! Let's go, Reno! That thing could go any minute!" "But Kent needs of the many, cadet!" "But—" Her protestation was cut off by a horrid noise and unpleasant light barely visible through the rubble. A day later, there were no life signs coming from the other side of the rubble. But there were also no energy signatures. So the ship catcher, or landing beam, or whatever it was presumably done for. They decided the beacon was worth the risk, and within a few hours, a passing Andorian mining cruiser swung by to bring them the rest of the way to Starbase 12. Almost as soon as it left orbit, a small yacht appeared from behind the local moon and made its way to the crumbling base. It went unnoticed by the ship or any of its passengers. "How you doing, Jet?" Veth asked, setting in next to her in the Andorian ship's mess hall. Been better. I've had people die alongside me before, but it's my first time since joining up. Feels different somehow. I have to be honest, I never would expect them to go back like that. Yeah, maybe that's why. I sort of feel bad for being surprised. You think you know a guy. She lifted her glass. To Fenton Candle. The blast had been spectacular. But whoever had built the thing originally had apparently been ready for such problems, as it erected some sort of field that contained the surge. Still, it couldn't hold back the noise or light show. Candle had found himself unable to see right for an hour or so afterwards. There almost must have been an EMP surge or something, as the bunch of systems just sputtered out. Unfortunately, Mud had also been within the field. Candle spent some time looking at the little dark pile of ash that maybe had been him? Or maybe the android? Or both? He spent a long time looking at his communicator. He considered letting Jet know he was okay, asking for them to come help him and get the rubble down. But then he decided not to. Finding a way out of the lab wasn't terribly hard. A back closet had a hole in it that led to a different hallway, and he found what had likely been Mud's room. He had a bunk that wasn't much, but a wardrobe that was quite impressive. Candle was immediately taken with a hat that had a jaunty brim. Looked like it should be about his size. Once he had found a way to clean it... "Hello?" came a nasally voice. He yanked off his Delta and tossed it aside, and hastily threw a green overcoat atop his clothes before running back to the lab. There he found a lanky man with a cocky sneer standing amidst the sundries of the lab. "Can I help you?" "I should hope so, since I presume you're the fellow I've been talking to. I saw a ship come and go and figured you'd finally got the damn beam down." "Oh, yes, I'm Fenton... Mud. Harcourt Fenton Mud. So, what's this spectacular automaton you wanted to show me, Harcourt Fenton Mud?" He rather spectacularly exploded. He gestured to the mark on the floor. "Seems the old boy was designed to be a conqueror." "Great. So I came for nothing." "Nothing? Hardly, my friend, hardly. Why, we may not have a complete machine anymore, but look at everything around. There's plenty here to poke and prod and study, and even if you can't get a full specimen, it can surely advance your work well beyond your peers." "Please. I have no peers. My family never has. The Sungs have been the leaders in every field they've chosen to enter." The lanky man picked up a bit of what was probably mechanical brain. "Still, only a fool doesn't study a previous master's work. So, Harcourt, let's make a deal." The end.
Nice.
Wow. And Harcourt Mud and a data origin story in one. That's good. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I had originally... I knew I wanted to be in the academy together, but that was kind of all I had. And then I came up with the whole, taking over from another Mud thing.
And Jet's never on Discovery at the same time as Mudd.
Right.
Because Mudd doesn't show up in season 2.
Exactly.
So they wouldn't have had the opportunity to see each other.
Exactly. Yep.
Interesting.
Also, I took the name Candle from the guy that wrote the teleplay for Mudd's Women.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say, because I was so distracted for the first page. I was like, what? Why is Jet talking to a candle?
It's Lumiere.
Yeah. It's Beast. Beast's Castle.
I'll have to look at it, read it on the paper, because I feel like I missed a lot of the finer references. Was the android on the table someone we would recognize?
No.
It wasn't a ruck.
No,
You son of a bitch.
No, in the back of my mind, like, I couldn't find a subtle way to, in my mind, it was probably a remnant of the Slaver people. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't sure how to put that in without it just being ham-fisted as fuck, so I didn't bother. Mm-hmm.
Do you think the technology from the automatons here are the same technology that's adapted for the iMud robots, or is it a separate system?
I just wanted to suggest that he has a background in robotics because of both the android Muds in Discovery and the fact that he worked out the robots in iMud well enough. So it just seems like, yeah, he seems to have a robotics background. So he may have adapted at least a little, but yeah, I left that a little more vague.
A little ambiguous.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So we have lines and...
Yes, mine is a teleplay style. Oh, look, same characters as Chris.
Oh my god.
A very different story. So again, this is Jet Reno and Harry Mudd again. It's another longie, because all I read are longies. Yeah, it's funny. During yours, Chris, I'm like, why is Chris spending so much time on a new character we've never met? This is just a candle story. This is just a... Oh, there it is. Yep.
Typical
Chris.
I was somewhat worried that would give away the ending, because yeah, it's like, who cares about this guy? And I was
like, is this someone we've met before? He mentioned something about the Enterprise. Did we meet a candle on Enterprise? The Chris twist. We get it.
The Chris twist.
Yeah.
Mine isn't so much twist. Mine is something else.
Mine's not twist. It's more shout.
It is called Dodge and Burn, which is a photography term. Maybe Jake gets it. Mm-hmm. And again, Jet Reno and Harry Mudd. Teaser. Exterior. Establishing shot. The Discovery is flying around. We've just arrived in the 32nd century after the events from Far From Home, and are settling into our new post-burn digs. Perhaps some dots are still repairing damage from the Battle of Control, stuff like that. Interior, Reno and Non are doing a walk and talk down a corridor.
County fairs. They'd better have good county fairs in this century.
Well, you gotta put the galaxy's smallest horse somewhere.
We had enormous county fairs on Barzan too.
Maybe they still do.
The dancing, the music, the food. There's a lot I'm gonna miss. A lot more than I thought there'd be.
Not much we can do about that now, unless everyone's got one of those Red Angel suits these days.
I guess I always assumed I could just go home again, even with all our disagreements. Whatever's there now, it's not going to be the same.
I like to think of it this way. The future is a big birthday present, all wrapped in paper and a big bow on top. Whatever it's got inside it, it's going to be new to us.
So there's nothing you'll miss about the 23rd century?
Nah, no regrets. Tattoo that on my forehead.
Oh, Captain Pike's cooking. You know you're going to miss that.
You know what? It's a good thing we're in no place where he can find out I actually thought he did about as well as the food synthesizer.
Are you serious?
What's the point in putting in all that effort when you can press a button and get the same thing? Now, my wife, she could make a Soyuzian amber pudding that no food synthesizer has ever. Suddenly, all the camera trickery engages. We zoom in on Reno's face with some kind of disorienting visual effect and sound. We are now in interior. A Klingon battle cruiser in the middle of some kind of crisis. Lots of flashy lights and the sound of alarms. Reno is clutching her head and looking confused as Klingons rush around her, some bumping into her and knocking her down. Ugh! What's going on? Reno sees flashes of visions, so action-packed that it's overwhelming. The Klingon ship under attack and withstanding damage. So many vessels in the middle of a space battle. A live torpedo teleporting into a hazy area of the ship. Reno stands up just in time to hear the Klingon captain's voice in Klingon over the ship's intercom.
Abandon ship!
That's not you.
It's me.
Oh, it's you? I thought I was captain.
Nope.
Sorry.
I was getting ready to be like, but
As Jake did.
You can do it.
well, I wasn't gonna do it in English. I was just gonna make random barking noises. Anyway, abandoned ship. Today is not our day to die. Get to the escape pods.
Reno tries to follow a Klingon in whatever direction they're heading, staggers and leans on a wall. Just then, we see the torpedo exploding and a massive wall of fire flying toward her until all her vision goes white. Poof! Then she's back in the corridor with Non in the middle of the conversation they were just having.
The dancing, the music, the food.
Reno has stopped walking and stares deadpan in front of her.
Jed, are you okay?
Well, that was strange.
What was?
It's like deja vu all over again. Dramatic music swells and then fades into the opening credits. Da, 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 and Chapter 1. Interior, sickbay. Stamets is still recovering from all the bullshit he pulled in Far From Home on a medbed somewhere. Most of the other beds are also still full of people in various stages of injuries from the preceding episodes. Culber is retracting a biobed from some kind of big scanning machine reminiscent of an MRI machine, and we see Reno is lying face up on it. And then the whole thing blew up, and I was back here.
How did it compare to your experiences after you touched the time crystal?
Exactly the same. The dread, the feeling like I was there. One of the Klingons slammed into me and it felt real. I could smell the gach on his breath, so, I wish it were a touch less real in that regard.
We don't know a lot about time crystals. This could all be a normal residual effect, or it could be...
something else. I talked to Burnham. Once she jumped to the future, she didn't have any other visions.
Wish we'd had time to take proper scans of you and Burnham and Pike before and after you touched that thing.
Yeah, well, don't quit your day job. Whatever that is.
I'm going to attach a bioscanner that will help us monitor your vitals in case it happens again. Hopefully it'll keep you stable for now while I review these tests.
Culber takes out a bioscanner, which looks something like a Disney magic band that he wraps around her upper arm. Its face lights up in a blue pattern. Now for the exciting waiting part of the experiment. Who knows if I'll even have another vision? Immediately, Reno has another vision. Or really, the same vision. She's back on the Klingon battlecruiser that is in critical danger, but this time the effects are less disorienting. She surveys the area more closely. The mess hall of a ship, which the Klingons have been using as an overflow medbay, everyone rushing around in a chaotic frenzy. Reno leaves the mess and reaches for the arm of a passing Klingon officer, this one's Jake, in the corridor. The captain. I need to see the captain. Where is she?
Comprehend. You are lost, human.
Great. Thanks, Jake. You could say that. She looks down at her bioscanner on her arm. It's glowing red now in a swirling pattern. Which way?
Follow me.
Yikes.
He's starting to sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think Jake is doing Nausicaan, evidently, but that's...
I was trying to do marbles in my Discovery Klingon.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
There you go. That's... Oh no, Chewbacca.
The Klingon officer leads Reno down some corridors on the ship. The halls are bustling with activity of Klingon warriors going about their battle duties. Who are you fighting?
Ho, 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 ho. You must be very lost. Our battle is nearly won. It will be tremendous victory for Klingons and the Federation alike.
Okay, now you're the Cookie Monster.
I like this one easier.
K is for Klingon. That's good enough for me.
The Federation? Why is that? Interior, the bridge of the Klingon battlecruiser. They step inside and Reno can see the battle on the big view screen. Hordes and hordes of small vessels swarm around each other like plankton in the ocean. Reno can't make out a couple larger vessels from their current distance and through all the commotion. But in the middle of the screen, something familiar. The Discovery is flying headlong towards the fissure that Burnham had opened up by using the Red Angel suit in Such Sweet Sorrow Part 2. Reno gasps.
Because this is the day we save your worthless hides from your own AI-controlled fleet.
Reno, agog, steps forward towards the view screen and watches herself as she flies out of this century and into the future. I'm in the past.
Don't you humans ever call first?
Reno spins around towards the captain's chair. The Klingon captain is revealed to be Laurel, looking glam in her Klingon chancellor garb as she commands the ship during the battle.
Fuck yeah, like the hair?
Oh yeah. Chancellor Laurel, sorry to crash the party, but you're in critical danger. There's a torpedo. Tyler barrels in from somewhere, looking frantic.
Chancellor! Control beam to torpedo on board and we can't disarm it.
I love that Tyler's just Poochie now.
What he said?
Jet, what are you doing here?
I wish I knew, but there's no time for that. That thing's gonna blow.
The battle, it's won. Pike hailed that control is neutralized. God damn it.
You are an asshole.
Those poor people. Fuck. It's hard, bro.
This is why Chris doesn't write teleplay anymore.
Because we're a bunch of assholes?
We're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Discovery.
Tyler looks wistfully out the view screen as Discovery zips out of sight. It's gone, but you don't have to be. Get out of here.
Boop. Abandon ship. Today is not our day to die. Get to the escape pods. I can't do it. I hope that's it. I don't have to do that anymore.
That will come up again.
No!
Everyone on the bridge runs out into the corridor, but it is too late. The torpedo erupts just as Reno turns a corner.
Oh.
Time seems to slow to a crawl as she catches sight amidst the gloomy Klingon color palette of a long snatch of shining golden hair in a glitzy green hair beret. When the owner of the sunshiny locks turns her head, it's like all the air is sucked out of the room. Partly because all the air really is sucked out of the room due to the massive explosion. And partly because the wild and terrified eyes of the beautiful Soyuzian woman in a flowy fuchsia draped dress lock with Reno's. And then, interior sickbay. Reno snaps back to reality, screaming, Karuna!
Okay, deep breaths. I've got you.
Culber steadies her before she can fall off the medbed. I have to go back! What does the monitor say? Reno looks down and realizes the bioscanner isn't on her arm. It's actually in Culber's hands, as he was about to attach it to her since the time jump set her back in the scene a little bit for some reason. Oh, come on!
Who's Karuna?
My wife. I saw her. On the Klingon ship.
Jet, your wife is dead.
She was alive. She was alive when we jumped to the future.
What do you mean? How is that possible?
I don't know, but the vision... It was during the battle with Control. Control had gotten a torpedo onto Laurel's ship at some point. And Karuna was on that ship. I have to go back. You, stick that doodad on my arm and send me back. Stamets has woken up during this.
Boy, does this sound familiar.
Paul, you should be resting.
Did I sound this wackadoo before I found you in that in the mycelial network?
You of all people should believe me. Stamets gives one of his little smiles that he thinks is empathetic but comes off as condescending.
I do.
Great.
That was a perfect Stamets face you just made. My God. I wish this wasn't radio, because it was beautiful.
Great. Thanks. So, what do we do?
Initially, the time crystal showed you flashes of a possible future.
Right.
Leland killing the whole crew, the Discovery's destruction. But things didn't ultimately go that way.
These could be visions that could have been our future if we hadn't jumped.
Which is why they're in our past.
Because that's when I touched the crystal. So maybe these events also don't have to go that way.
Maybe.
Like I said, we really don't understand what it meant for you to touch that time crystal.
A little late to think about going back and putting on gloves, isn't it?
Well, you know what they say about hindsight.
Too late to change that, but these visions might be trying to tell you something.
Exactly. Put that arm thing back on me. If I end up back there, maybe I can change things. Culber snaps the bioscanner on Reno's arm again, and also for the first time. I'm not going to lose her again.
Then you're going to need help.
Stamets goes and takes out another bioscanner, straps it on his own arm, and starts fiddling with its settings. You're kidding, right?
There's only one person on the ship who has any experience with time loops, and you're looking at him.
Paul, you are still recovering from abdominal trauma. Do I have to strap you to your medbed?
Too much information, guys.
Ah.
I can do this, Hugh. I know what it feels like to have the love of your life just out of reach.
He finishes pairing his settings with Reno's, and both bioscanners start glowing and swirling blue in sync with each other.
Wherever you go, I go.
Karuna, here we come. The scene fades to black. Chapter 2. Interior, medbay. Reno and Stamets sit on opposite medbeds chatting to each other. Their bioscanners continue to swirl around in blue patterns.
You thought your wife died in the Klingon War.
She was on an ambassadorial mission to Zahia. There was concern that Klingons would get there first and put pressure on them for their dilithium. The Klingons attacked and they found the wreckage of her escape pod later.
Then how did she end up on a Klingon battlecruiser a year later at the same coordinates in the middle of the battle with Control?
That's what we're going to find out.
You're aware that, no matter what happens, she's still in the past. Whether or not she died in the Klingon War, she's still...
One thing at a time, Buckaroo.
She must be a remarkable woman.
She sure could be. More of a workaholic than you, even. I didn't want her to go to Zahia, but we see both bioscanners suddenly change to red and swirl in a different synchronous pattern. We are now in, interior, the Klingon battlecruiser under attack again. Come on! They start running through the halls, shouldering through Klingon officers that are in full battle mode. Stamets is barely able to keep up with Reno as she runs feverishly through the claustrophobic, darkened passageways of the ship, eyes darting everywhere as she seeks. Rounding a corner, she runs squarely into Karuna, and both women embrace each other, starting to weep. Karuna, you're alive!
Jetski! I can't believe it!
Your escape pod! I thought you were...
I wasn't on it!
I believe that was where I came in.
Mud emerges from whatever corner he was lurking in, looking pleased with himself and prepared to gloat until he recognizes Stamets.
You!
Harry Mudd. Now, why didn't I suspect you'd be involved in this time shenanigan? How'd you get away from Stella and Baron Grimes, Mudd?
Oh, please, they don't even know I'm gone. If the resemblance is good enough.
I knew we should have carted you off to a Starfleet prison instead of relinquishing you into the hands of your wife.
You do me a disservice. Without me, there would have been no one to save this little turtle dove.
If he hadn't been there, my escape pod wouldn't have blown up in the first place.
What happened?
Klingons.
Karuna looks around awkwardly, keenly aware they're surrounded by Klingons.
The Klingon War is over now, right?
It takes some getting used to, doesn't it?
They destroyed the Ibn al-Haytham. I got out in an escape pod and ran straight into...
Hello.
Stamets' eyes shift as Mudd waves. He can see the time displacement device on Mudd's wrist peeking out from under his sleeve. Stamets grabs Mudd by the wrist and holds it up.
Up to your old tricks, I see, Mudd.
It was meant to be a safeguard. Let me explain. I was merely engaging in a commercial exchange with a contact on that Klingon vessel. You'll remember that they were keenly interested in any information about a certain Federation ship's experimental spore drive.
I have a vague recollection of that, yes.
Well, it turns out their attention was more fleeting than I was expecting.
For the next bit, we see scenes in flashback of Mudd's latest adventure as he explains how he got to where he is now. Exterior, one of those cute little Klingon peacock shuttles is barreling haphazardly away from a larger Klingon bird of prey, which is firing upon it. Interior, Mudd is frantically piloting the shuttle, booping random buttons and clawing at screens.
You don't just renege on a deal. You're the ones who are missing out. I was preparing to initiate a time reset and try again from a new angle. Really, I imagine most business people must do the same when, if at first you don't succeed...
Just as Mutt hits the reset on the time displacement device on his wrist, we see a Federation escape pod about to collide with the stolen shuttle. The shot pulls back, and we can see the Klingon vessel is simultaneously engaged in battle with the Federation starship, the Ibn al-Haytham. Let's say she's Oberth class, because that'd track. The Ibn al-Haytham is damaged severely and lilting in space in that typical powered-down pose, with escape pods flitting out of it like fleas off a dog in a bathtub.
Ew.
Mud screams as he sees the fast-approaching escape pod and is too late to steer away when 3 things happen at once. 1. His shuttle collides with Karuna's escape pod. 2. A disruptor beam from the Klingon vessel hits his shuttle. 3. His time displacement device initiates. Amidst explosions and science magic, the whole screen is engulfed in all kinds of visual effects until it blacks out and we find ourselves in interior Mud's stolen Klingon shuttle. Mud seems to awaken in a haze and then realizes he hasn't been exploded. He pats down his arms and body as if assuring himself he's really there and gives an exulted whoop.
Ha! You'll have to try harder this time, fellows. Yeah!
Karuna is revealed to be on board the shuttle as well, having been caught up in the whole displacement/explosion dealie.
Where am I?
More like when are you? We're actually... Wait a minute, what the hell?
Exterior. The whole setting has changed. We're no longer in the standoff between the Ibn al-Haytham and the Klingon bird of prey, but in the middle of the battle with Control, as, we've seen a couple times now. Interior. Back to the plot at hand, in the corridor aboard the Klingon battlecruiser with our 4 time-displaced misfits.
It turns out that instead of sending us back in time half an hour, my little contraption is here to... What's the star date?
1051 or 2? This is the star date from a log in Such Sweet Sorrow, which is obnoxiously out of sequence with previous Discovery star dates, and it pisses me off.
A year? A year has passed?
Apparently Klingon time crystals and disruptor beams aren't meant to mix.
That shuttle was dead in the water, so this ship tractored us in, but every time it blows, we reset.
Now, you're welcome for keeping you alive.
There's nothing we can do to stop it.
There's a live torpedo on board.
Yes, we've seen it.
Take us there.
This way.
They all run off. Interior, the engineering section of the Klingon battlecruiser. The torpedo looms enormous in the room. Other Klingons are sciencing at it animatedly, but utterly failing to make any progress disarming it. Our 4 protagonists enter. Stamets starts scanning it with a tricorder. We don't have much time.
Let's learn as much as we can. Maybe we can make more progress the next time.
We've been trying to get the Klingons to abandon ship.
They won't make it.
Tell me about it. Plus they have a natural distrust of this guy. I can't imagine why.
We see a short montage, like the one we saw in Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad, of Mud and Karuna's previous attempts of getting off of L'Orel's battlecruiser. First can be a quick moment of them pleading with the Klingon officer we met before.
The escape pods. You have to show us where the escape pods are.
We do not run from battle.
The captain is about to order you to abandon ship. The torpedo.
The Chancellor will do no such thing. Just stay out of our way.
Wow, he's just Arnold now. That's fine. The montage cuts to engineering, where a Klingon engineer is trying to defuse the torpedo. Just stay out of our way.
Of course. Just here to help.
There's got to be something else you can try.
We have it under control.
I can tell you now, you don't.
Then an instance of them running into Tyler in the corridors.
What a small galaxy this is. Just the man I was looking for, apparently.
Mud! What are you? Never mind. You picked the wrong time. Seriously.
Security.
Security?
Wow, Tootsie Roll.
Tyler, my friend, you have to...
I'm not your friend. Take this menace to the brig.
Wait!
As Mud is getting hauled off by guards, we go to a scene shift to another moment when Karuna and Mud enter the bridge. L'Orel turns in the captain's chair to face them.
Okay, this was unexpected. Your Excellency, it's good to see you again, but I'm afraid I have bad news.
L'Orel just raises a disruptor pistol and blasts Mud square in the chest with it. Karuna, who's already sick of this, face palms. We switch back to the scene in engineering in real-ish time.
A year. I've missed a whole year. I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
What have you been doing all this time?
That's a story for another time, Luke Rooney.
This thing is about to blow.
Meet us here next time.
How will you know?
We'll know. The torpedo explodes. Interior, sickbay. Reno and Stamets are sitting on their medbeds. Stamets immediately jumps up and starts pulling up screens on a pad.
We don't know much about those Section 31 torpedoes, but it's got to be similar to the one that it got embedded in the hull of the Enterprise during the same battle. Reno, what can you tell me about...
He's already on his way out the door to engineering when he notices Reno is still sitting on the medbed, looking distraught.
Reno?
That's where she was. That whole time.
There's no way anyone could have known she jumped forward a year because of that bastard Mud.
What does this mean? Can I stay back there with her?
I don't think that's how these prisoners work. Jetski.
That's not for you.
Fair enough. Come on, we've got work to do.
They romp out of the room. Colbert, who's been attending to someone in one of the other med beds, watches them go with a look of concern on his face. The scene fades. Chapter 3. Interior. Someplace else. We're in a super swanky, futuristic living room where we see Stella redecorating and rearranging the furniture.
Harcourt! What about this one? On the mantle? I think on the mantle.
Dutifully following her around is a very obvious android Mud, an early prototype of future Muds and nowhere near as sophisticated. Everything seems off about him. Perhaps he has noticeable seams and android parts. He never actually makes eye contact, and his movement can be fairly jank. But Stella is too caught up in her own work to notice or care.
I agree with you completely.
Perfect. What about your old coin collection? We don't need that, do we?
Whatever you like, dear.
Away it goes!
He tosses a framed collection of fancy coins off somewhere.
The divan! I think on the other side, there. Would you move it for me?
Anything for you, my sweet.
Smooches.
He starts moving furniture pieces, struggling with their bulk as the scene changes. Interior, the Klingon battlecruiser. Mud and Karuna are waiting in the engineering section, watching the Klingon engineers trying to defuse the torpedo and generally trying to stay out of the way.
Surely my stand-in has been found out by now if it's been this long and my dear Stella has been looking for me again. The dutiful little woman. How happy she'll be to know I'm alive.
Just stay out of our way!
Yes, you say that every time.
A whole year. I've lost a whole year of my life.
You survived a Klingon battle. Surely that's something.
Jet believed I was dead. She's accepted it. She's moved on.
Listen to me. It didn't look to me like she's moved on, and your Starfleet friends aren't the type to give up. I should know. But we need all the help we can get, and if there's anyone who might...
Reno and Stamets, rush in! Fancy meeting you here. Oh, this is Paul Stamets. I don't think we had the opportunity to introduce.
A pleasure.
He and Karuna nod to each other.
Yes, we're all hunky-dory here. Now, if you don't mind, we're on a bit of a schedule.
We've seen a device like this before. Over there on the Enterprise.
Swell, so you can turn it off.
Sadly, no. This is Section 31 tech. This stuff is way above my pay grade. Stamets pulls up a visual of the Enterprise on a Klingon display. We can see it has a massive hole blown out of its saucer section.
They weren't particularly successful, it would seem.
So what can we do?
We're going to find that out.
These fine chaps have been throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it.
Oh, then we'll have to try the kitchen sink.
We're here to help. Are you able to get a transporter lock on the torpedo?
We have been trying, but it has a randomized variance field around it that is blocking our attempts.
That's Section 31 tech for you. It's their refactored lattice shield design that Queen Poe discovered.
Is there a way to contain an explosion to this area?
If this torpedo ignites, it will cascade across all systems and to our warp core. There is no containing. I can't get a comm signal over to Enterprise from here. Correct. Only the Chancellor can do that from the bridge.
You folks really need to rethink your hierarchy system. Go. Tell L'Rell to get Pike to start evacuating the ship. We'll take it from here.
Grumbling, the Klingon engineer runs out.
There's never enough time to get them to evacuate.
The Enterprise can beam people out faster than they can get to escape pods.
No, Karuna's right. It's still not going to be enough, even if they start beaming right this second.
Whose bright idea was it to let Section 31 develop tech even more sophisticated than they had in the 32nd century?
Tyler's Section 31. He don't know how to get that field down.
Worth a shot. Mud, you go find Tyler.
Are you joking? The last time I saw that guy, I blew him up. Or one of the times? Which time was that?
I don't think you're going to find Harry very useful in this situation. Everyone on this ship hates him.
Sorry to disagree with you, sweetie, but Mud might actually be very useful. She grabs Mud by the wrist to draw attention to his time displacement device. What if we transport the torpedo not in space, but in time?
You might be onto something. Mud, give me your device.
No. Let me get this straight. You want me to give up the only thing that's been letting us survive this catastrophe? No fucking way.
It might be the only way.
Oh, come on. I only have so many fragments of that time crystal left.
And clearly you can't be trusted with them.
But it would only go back half an hour.
And half an hour ago, the torpedo was already on the ship. It wouldn't make a difference.
But if we can go forward a year, like you two did...
That was only because it was malfunctioning.
We can do that. Malfunctioning is my middle name.
I thought your middle name was Denise.
We'll have to recreate the conditions under which it malfunctioned and sent you forward a year. You said it was resetting at the same time that you were hit with the ship's disruptors.
We can't exactly fire a ship's disruptors onto engineering that precisely.
No, but we can create a device to simulate the effect of a disruptor beam.
Abandon ship! Today is not our day to die! Get to the escape pods! I hope you can rig something up quickly.
We don't have to during this loop. We've got all the time we need.
We'll be back next time, I promise. The interface on the torpedo turns a fun new color, and the thing starts to explode.
Wait, there's more I need to tell!
The whole scene is taken over by the explosion. The scene fades. Chapter 4. Interior, the Klingon battlecruiser engineering deck. Our 4 time-displaced heroes are already working on the situation. Reno is sciencing the torpedo hard.
Mud, you're going to have to give me that device now.
This had better be worth it.
We whipped this up on the Discovery. It should recreate the conditions of being blasted with a Klingon bird of prey's disruptor beam and crashing into an escape pod at the same time. I just need to pair it with your time displacement device to ensure that they'll activate simultaneously.
Super.
Someone is going to have to warn anyone at these coordinates in a year to take a wide berth.
Agreed. Reno, is the torpedo temporal interface adapter ready?
Just about there. Do Klingons have an equivalent for duct tape? The Klingon engineers look at her confusedly. Never mind, I brought my own. She slaps the device they whipped up during the commercial break to the torpedo and duct tapes it there. Okay, this thing is set to blow concurrently with the time displacement device resetting and the torpedo exploding. We'll know in 2 minutes if it all...
Jet, there's something else. It wasn't only the ship's disruptor that may have affected Harry's device. I think you'll also need this.
Karuna pulls out a high-tech little pendant hanging from a chain around her neck from down her flowy dress. Reno reacts to the sight of it.
It's how I've been piggybacking on Mud's time loops.
You're not.
I should have told you. Oh, Jet, I wasn't on the Ibn al-Haytham? What is it?
Sure.
Al-Haytham? To protect Zahia from the Klingons. I was on a job.
Stamets gets a good look at the pendant. It's got some swirly little interface on it.
Is that dust from a Klingon time crystal?
I don't understand. You said you'd quit.
Turns out bounty hunting isn't the kind of thing you just quit.
Karuna, Reno, and Stamets all turn their heads to look at Mud at the same time.
Oh, why is everyone looking at me?
Karuna pulls a phaser from somewhere else down her dress.
Because I have a contract from Baron Grimes to hunt you down like the dog you are, Harry Mudd. Once we break this time loop, you're in my custody, you swine.
When did they find out their Mud wasn't me?
Almost immediately.
Confound that blasted robot. I should have known he wasn't ready.
Shut your targ mouth. You cost me a year of my life. You don't deserve rescue from this ship.
My dear, without me...
I said shut up. You don't know how aggravating it's been having to team up with the likes of you. I had so many opportunities to split up and get out of here, but I had to babysit you to keep you alive. It's been a nightmare.
He does have that way with people.
Stamets takes the pendant from Karuna and snaps it into his device. Because this is a television show, it fits perfectly.
Wow.
We've got 60 seconds before all these things go... These things blow at once. It's the only shot we've got.
Everyone, get behind the blast doors. They all exit the engineering bay and close the blast doors behind them.
If it doesn't work, these doors will do nothing. I hope you know that.
We are well aware.
I swear, Jet, I'll make it up to you when I'm done with this job, this one job. After the year I've missed, I promise I'll never leave your side again.
About that. I'm actually 900 years in the future. I know, I'm always late for things, aren't I?
What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Rooney. I'm right now on the Discovery, going through that space-time fissure on my way to the 32nd century. And it's only because I touched a time crystal that I'm appearing here right now. Stamets points at the bioscanner on his and Reno's arms.
We're not really here.
Is there anyone on the ship without a time loop device?
Stamets punches Mud, who goes down in a heap.
I've been waiting 900 years to do that.
You never left me, Rooney, but I have to leave you when I can't stop it.
Oh no. Oh no, what have we done?
The two of them embrace, weeping, and crumble to the floor as they share a moment of absolute ache. I love you, Karuna.
I love you, Jet.
They kiss, clasping their hands tight as they kneel together on the floor. Stamets, holding back from crying, looks down at the screen displaying the view in engineering. The interface on the torpedo turns that fun color again, but the whole contraption seems to get sucked out of existence.
Hey, guys. Hey, it worked!
Reno turns her head to look at him, conflicting emotions battling through her tears. When she turns back, there is no one there. Reno is in her same crumpled position on the floor in main engineering on the Discovery, embracing an empty space. She seems to sink into the floor in deep agony, tears streaming down her face. Stamets has that normal, mournful look of his on his face. The two bioscanners on their arms are now entirely blank. Reno's hand is still clutched tight, and when she opens it, she reveals the green hair barrette that Karuna had been wearing earlier. She lets out a sob. I should have stayed in the past.
If you'd stayed, you'd never have known she was on that ship and it would have exploded.
You can't know that!
You're right. I can't.
She was alive. She was alive, and I just missed her.
Yes, but she lived. You made that happen.
Reno takes a moment of staring at the barrette as she processes this. When she looks up, Stamets is in tears. Don't give me those sad eyebrows.
Whatever you say, jet ski.
I told you that's not... She stops herself, slowly stands, and goes over to embrace Stamets, who envelops her in a big hug. Okay, this one time. It's a present. It can be for you. Fade out on Reno and Stamets, embracing in despair. End of thing.
Oh, damn it, Ames.
Sad.
There was a hot second when I was going to be like, epilogue, put the Stella Mud scene here, and then I was like, that can't go there!
Yeah. It was good.
So you said you wrote this to fill a specific plot hole.
They never show you what happens when Reno touches the time crystal.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird, like, we see kind of what happens when Michael touches the time crystal and she has the visions, and then she sees the thing on the bridge a couple of times, and Spock's like, maybe it doesn't go this way. And all of it seems superfluous.
Yeah.
And then they make a point that say Reno touched the time crystal, but absolutely nothing
comes
happened.
of it. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, this is very good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate that we both decided she had a nickname.
I know, yeah.
I like that you played Mud a lot.
Yes.
This was a week of Chris getting to play Mud.
So much mud.
Chris did good mud.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, and I was nice to Stamets.
You
as
were.
nice as I could be to Stamets.
I thought Jake was nice to Stamets by not, like, making him just sound like a huge bitch the whole time. But yes, you were also nice to Stamets.
I will say, though, what eyebrows.
They are very
He's
fake
so blonde.
eyebrows.
He's so
No, I
pale
know.
and so blonde.
Yeah, they are like Peter Davison
Tegan, have you seen my
levels
eyebrows?
of. He's a British actor who was also so blonde, and like again, his eyebrows just vanish in the wrong light.
But he's not as transparent as Stamets is.
No, he is. But his hair.
He is
though.
more opaque.
Yes.
And my God, so I was going to make a reference to when Magic did with the Sanus Man Go Mad was, because there's a timestamp in there, or there's a log entry that gives you the star date.
Yeah.
But if this one, the one in Such Sweet Sorrow, is 10 something something, the one in Magic to make the Sanus Man Go Mad is 20 something something, and it's like, fucking son of a bitch!
Star dates have never really made sense.
No, but that's particularly bad.
That's fucking
They at least
ridiculous.
go in some kind of order normally. They get bigger.
Egregious.
Someone fucked up, and no one has called them out on it as much as I want to.
They cut to Ben Sisko being like, I can live with it.
I can't, because it made me have to cut a line.
Bastards.
Well, another wildly successful fan fiction day.
I would say all of them seemed really good. Good day.
What was your Jet's wife's name, Chris?
I've already forgotten. It only got said like once, so.
Yeah, I decided she would be an original character and filled it in. And then literally last week as I was out hiking, I was like, how do I make her feel like she's actually important in the scene and not just there to be saved? Ah, here's what it is. She'll capture Mud.
Yeah, that was a nice twist.
Ay, Karuna.
Hey, Karuna Matata, am I right?
Ah.
Well, what's
What?
next week, kids?
What is next week?
Well, that was a marvelous time. Why I said that in such a weird way.
Wow, weird, Jake.
Well, thanks, everyone. That was such a great fanfic week.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you can look back at all of our previous fanfic weeks on our SoundCloud and our Tumblr. You can read the stories and do all that great thing. We're SSHB Podcast, sshbpodcast.com. We're also on Blue Sky and Twitter.
Nope.
Nope, not that one. We're on Blue
Fuck
Sky
that one.
instead of Twitter. And we're on Tumblr and
Facebook?
and you can also get us on YouTube and iTunes and all the podcast places. Next week, of course, we will be talking about a new episode of Star Trek Discovery, Terra Firma Part 1.
Wasn't that the terrorist organization that RoboCop ran in?
No, that was
Terra Prime.
Ah, there we go.
Terra something. But yeah, next week it will be Terra Firma Part 1.
Not part 5 or 8 or...
No, just
Negative half?
An actual Part 1.
Wow.
Shocking, I know. So yeah, stay tuned. Catch us then. Until then, my name has been Jake.
This is McChris.
This has been Ames.
This is always Caitlin.
So I guess Massachusetts is doing kind of a thing where they're looking for updating the flag
Yes.
sigil and motto. And I think the motto really should be "Nice blinker, asshole."
I would be in that.
I am pissed that they're not letting the dinosaur move on to the second round.
That was a pretty good one.
From Malden? Or from the mini golf dinosaur?
No, it was apparently there's a state dinosaur, which
You
I
didn't know
didn't
there was a state dinosaur?
What's our state
Oh, that's
dinosaur?
great.
Little raptory looking thing.
Oh, it's very cute.
Yeah, but it was the state dinosaur holding a cup of Duncan's coffee and it just said Massachusetts and like Comic Sans in a corner.
And that isn't gonna be it?
No.